Okay, we're live. We're good to go. Um,
Awesome.
so I just curious, how long have you been playing Overwatch?
Uh, Pretty much since beta,
Okay.
and I think that's kind of where my frustration is because like I'm like, why am I still like stuck here? It feels like I've been in like plat diamond forever,
hmm
and it's like people have obviously gotten better within a few seasons, and like I think there's like a mental block somewhere. Like, I review my VODs. I started reviewing my VODs seriously, but like, I don't know. Maybe I just constantly keep on making the same mistakes, and I keep on bouncing back and forth. So
hmm
I don't really know.
Do you do a lot of like studying of like pro and contenders play?
Not as much, and the reason for that is because maybe it's wrong reasoning, but like I feel like they are so organized, and like I wouldn't think that competitive is able to get to that level, so I don't want to try to mimic it.
Right. Though that's understandable, and for some things like it's accurate. Like some of the stuff that you see a lot of the really good Korean teams do, like it's just impossible to emulate
Yeah,
in a
even
ladder
goats, even
situation.
something as simple as goats, it's like one guy doesn't go with you, and you're just like, yeah, this doesn't work, but everyone just wants to do it anyway, like, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
people don't realize on ladder that it's like a comp is a lot more than just the heroes that you pick. A comp
hmm,
is play style. It's a philosophy. Um,
right,
but one of the things that you can do is if you kind of study the philosophy and you can study like contenders level stuff and you
hmm,
can like get the idea, and what you can do is do your best in ladder setting to incorporate some of those elements. Like for example in goats, like you'll see, well, Brig just got nerfed today, so we'll see how this goes.
yeah,
um, but you see a lot of the bash shatter combos, um, and that's something that like yes it requires coordination, but there's no reason like as a Rhine, like if you have shatter, be like, hey Brig, can you bash the Rhine for me here, and just kind of incorporate the smaller elements like around the philosophy of that composition.
hmm,
And you're in a position to do that as main tank. Like I was doing the a review for a main support player yesterday, and I was talking about how like his vantage point as a main support gives him like a really good field of view. Like he can see a lot more things that are happening than say your
right,
flank DPS, and just communicating those becomes valuable.
hmm.
But have you ever played on any like teams or like any
No,
open division tournaments or participated in the scrim
nope.
scene? Okay.
And actually, I've heard that makes you like way better, like exponentially better at the game, like just participating in those kind of things. But I just haven't found the time. I think if I do something, I know I want to get good at it and like commit to it. And I know it takes like 3 days out of the week for sure, at least
hmm
to practice. And I just don't really have the time for that, to be
Yeah,
honest. Yeah.
that's understandable. But what you can do is
Hmm.
there's a bunch of like Overwatch discords out there, and all
Hmm.
of them have like a scrim or ringers channel. So
Hmm.
what you can do is like a lot of teams like they have practice tonight, but their main tank couldn't make it, so they need a main tank to fill in. That's like a
Right.
place to start because it's not committing to a schedule, but you're like, hey,
Huh.
I've got today free, maybe I'll go ring in a scrim. Um, and that's like a place where you can kind of start to get in that scene a little bit more. Uh,
Nice.
BK and I
Okay.
have talked about it a lot, and we both agree that one of Overwatch's like major problems was the fact that they didn't have, like, for us the game of Overwatch is not what happens on ladder. It's what happens in scrims and matches in like organized tournaments. That is like where you see the game played how it should be played. And if Overwatch had something like a guild system put in where you were like in a had a regular group of people who have the same schedule that you're all playing together and learning to play with, that would have
Yeah,
been so much better because everyone kind of had to outsource it to various discords and find their own way through.
that's true. I mean, they do have looking for a group, which is kind of a step forward, I guess. But yeah, it's not to that level that you're describing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guild type of feature. I think it will come in the future, but
Hmm.
all right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
let's just jump into some gameplay.
Let's do it.
And so I always preface VOD reviews that I do on ladder with the fact that it's on ladder, and so there's
Yeah.
there's oftentimes limits, but I always try and analyze it like how I would if it was like an organized
Sure.
thing, because I'm just trying to look at what is the optimal way to play. But I know that on ladder that can sometimes be impossible, so that's not like a knock against someone's skill.
Right,
just
right.
hoping to be educational.
Right.
Let's see.
I'm more interested in like best practices, right? Like, oh, you know, you should play. I mean, this is a better way to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's the comp we're rolling out with. We're rolling out with Ana Zen, Doomfist Hanzo, Ryan Zarya. Not too bad. This is a workable comp. And your comms are in this, right? Like everyone's comms?
Yeah, it should
Okay.
be. It should be. Let me know if. I think I talked in this one. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood and I end up not talking. Oh yeah, I'm talking. I'm talking.
So someone should have scouted a Mei already, like, and called that out.
Yeah.
Like, I think that Zarya could have seen her. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But not much you can do in that situation when you get walled off. But now let's see what we do with the knowledge that we have in Mei. I like that you're playing back here. I wish your team was.
Yeah.
It's
Little
that
unfortunate.
Doomfist, like, people don't realize like how much ult charge they give up when they just like stand at a choke during a regroup.
Right. They're just feeding. And you risk dying, right? Just straight up dying. Yeah.
He's on left trying to wall off. Might just go off. One up for shatter.
Okay, so getting the Discord on Rhine is big. And that's something that you're seeing a lot in this meta, is that team fights are kind of decided between which Rhine gets deleted first. And it's kind of a
Yeah.
war between your Zenyatta getting the Discord on their Rhine and their Zenyatta getting the Discord on you. And so playing around those Discords, like if you get Discorded, it's often in your best interest to like line of sight the enemy Zen for 3 seconds so it comes off. And then you probably have to play, you always have to play a little bit more shield oriented so that you can keep that Discord off, especially if their Rhine has the Discord and you don't. Then keep your shield up because you're at an advantage and you can call out for your team to start
On left, me on left, she's gonna wall.
banging into the Rhine.
She's one. Oh yeah.
Oh, so even if he has Discord, I should still play passive.
Well, it depends.
Right.
It depends. Like if you can hit the Rhine, like without risking dying. Like if you can hit the Rhine without being in the line of sight of their Zen, that's really, really good. Or if you are gonna have more support than the other Rhine, even if they're discorded, then you can be really aggressive into their Rhine. But the key is that you want to like just lead that call out like when their Rhine is discorded.
Okay.
And if they get the Discord first, like you can be aggressive. Like if this Rhine gets discorded before you, then your first hammer swing is going to give you the advantage over him. So it's a matter of, but if you have the Discord and their Rhine doesn't, then you have to like check yourself. Good block.
Gotcha.
Okay, not a fan of the charge here.
Oh, they're so weak.
Yeah, it was a bad reflex. Oh, I know why. It's because I saw the Mei ult, so I was like, okay, I need to get out.
Okay.
Felt like I was gonna be frozen.
Left, she's gonna wall.
Although that was partly reflex as well.
After this wall.
Yeah, I mean I understand the charging out of the Mei. Just spin around and do it this way. instead of like, because if you go that way into Junkrat spam and shit, like there's nothing. At least if you charge out this way, you have a chance.
Right. Would you say we probably would have lost regardless? Like, even if I did, whether or not I charged?
Let's
Either
see
way.
here. I need sense of ult charge. So this is something I actually talked about with the main support yesterday too. Like, let's go back here.
Mm-hmm.
You can press tab a lot more than you are. Just like it can be quick thing, and you're double checking your team's ultimate charge.
Right.
And then when you know have that information, you can make a call for like, oh hey, we have Grav Dragon. But just having that knowledge, and like even like starting your team off with like a basic plan, helps avoid over ulting, and like gives people an idea of how we're approaching that fight. And even if they don't do it, it's good practice to just like be like, hey guys, let's open with these ults.
Okay.
So they grab, which I don't think that was a good grab, but they're over ulting. They just nanoed the Rhine. They've got Junkrat Tire. They used Blizzard, and the Rhine Shattered. So
Oh, they're so weak.
and we commit 2 ultimates. 3, I guess we nanoed. But now we're coming into the next fight with 3 ults, and they're going to have Trans and Ball.
I got shattered.
Yep.
One thing that is a really good thing to start getting into practice is calling out when an enemy ults. Just like say it when you see it.
Right.
And it gives your team knowledge, but it also helps you with like your internal rhythm of tracking the enemy ults. So you know.
Got it.
So like it's really good practice to just always call it out. So like we'll see here.
Maze on left, trying to wall off. Might just go one up or shatter.
Okay. So they nanoed.
Hamster in, back.
Now we know. So we're down 1.
Tied.
Me on left, she's gonna wall.
Yep.
She's one. Okay, yeah, after this wall. After the wall we're going.
The Shattered.
Shatter.
Mail. Tire. Like you've got all those ults right there. Just call that out.
And trans.
Yep.
They use trans. I saw it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did use trans.
Huh.
I didn't even see that on the first one right away.
Yeah.
Dude, I got shattered. Quick on that Q. That trans. Dude, I
Yep.
got
You
shattered.
called out the. Oh, you were asking your. What about trans?
Oh no, I was angry. I was just asking
Yeah.
the Zen like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was excited because I
I was
thought
being
you were saying like, oh, they trans, and you
No,
were
no,
asking
no.
your own Zen.
We're gonna have trans nano.
It came from
Yeah.
a bad place.
Yeah. My number 1 rule is retrospective comms are a no. Like
Yeah.
never retrospective. Because
It's hard.
it wastes comm space. It like wastes so much comm space.
I agree.
Go back. Get back. I've shattered.
So I'm calling for a regroup here. So back up. The call out that we like to do at with NYU is HQ. So HQ just means like everyone just pause, chill, get behind a corner, and get your cooldowns back.
Is this too close in your opinion? Should I be like where everyone else is on the left?
I've shattered.
Yeah, because you're eating a lot here.
Okay.
I've shattered.
You want to be as far out of line of sight as possible, because that Junkrat spam is hurting. He's already built 2 tires.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm even doing this because I have a shatter already. It's like it's a bad habit, I guess.
And here, so we've got Shatter, and now I'm considering our team composition and like how we can get this Shatter off. Doomfist is a decent combo. Like if you can tell Doomfist like, hey Doomfist, uppercut Rhine, then I can Shatter. The uppercut Shatter is a good combo when you don't have a Brig.
Oh, that's big again. I'm gonna run, please. Oh my god, mine.
We're up 1 here.
Just keep
Even.
dying,
I've literally ran on 3 traps.
And so here we kind of lost our head with understanding the Mei.
run, please. Oh my
Seems
god,
like we
mine.
kind of forgot that there's a Mei here.
Yeah, I did.
Just keeps dying.
Yep.
I've literally ran on 3 traps. Like, this isn't.
So you have to, when you're going up against a Mei through a choke, you need to play really tight with your team when you're making that transition and telling your team to play tight on you, so that if that wall comes up, either you're all on this side or you're all on that side.
Okay.
And there are good ways. So like we use a diva often to like bait walls. So we'll like send our diva through a choke, and if their Mei is dumb, they will wall the diva, and then our diva comes back, and then the wall drops and we push in.
Right. Okay.
Can you spot the barrel? Reloading.
So I see you doing the hop jump to get back faster. That's good.
Kill the fucking man.
Yep.
Enemy contact.
Alright, you should definitely take this. We have enough ults to take it.
Yeah, I think I don't give teammates enough credit for coordination, like those things you were talking about, comboing with the shatter. Like it just doesn't cross my mind to ask anybody to do anything, and maybe that's kind of like my fault. Like I'm just not. Maybe I'm jaded by like laddering.
It's
like,
definitely a solo queue ladder habit.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I don't want to talk, and people get angry at me for saying too much sometimes. I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to win, but
Yeah, no, and that's the mindset you have to have. Like
Right.
regardless of whether they do certain things or not, regardless of whether they don't want you to talk or not, you communicating the right things is only gonna help, always.
gotcha.
Because you'll find that like if you be kind of a leader in solo queue ladder play, you'll find that you can like shepherd the other solo queuers into doing better things. 'Cause, like if they're hearing you say things, then their brain is processing that. And they're like, oh hey, maybe I'm not gonna overcommit an ult here.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's just one of the ways that you can increase your team's chance of winning. And even if it's only like a couple % chance that you're increasing your like overall chance of winning, that adds up over the course of games.
True.
So if you're winning 5% more games simply by, trying to combo 2 ultimates or making a call for that.
Right, and that's like a taken point, right? That could be like that's progress to like getting a point.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine like one good coordination, boom, you got it.
Yeah.
That's the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, I mean it saves a minute on the clock, and oftentimes in ladder play, like that's everything. So I'm gonna rewind this. So when we cap point, we are up 2 players, or up 1 player. But our Zen's gonna get close spawn, and we know because we just capped that these players are gonna get that really long spawn on defense. So this is a time where we can go forward and make some space.
Rigger, please.
So
should I be pushing up and telling people to stay back?
You should be pushing up, and it should be your Ana generally who's on card here, or your Zen who's coming back from spawn. So you should not be pushing card in this scenario. You should be pushing forward to make space, and like maybe like one of them who got the early spawn is gonna come out here instead of like go back to regroup with their team. And if you're in a forward position, you can punish that.
Save me
Right.
and grab
So
the-
Ryan is like the last person that should be on cart. That's basically what you're
Well,
kind of saying.
especially in this situation.
Okay.
When you have an advantage in both spawn and numbers,
Mhm.
like you want to. So like now our entire point is point B. And so how do we set ourselves up for the next engagement that's going to come? We want to have a better position that creates space for us to engage from and lets the cart kind of trickle in behind. But if we kind of just play back on cart, then they're going to be able to push and take this space. So
True.
we need to minimize like this neutral space, because otherwise, and we need to make that ours. Otherwise, they're going to make it theirs.
Gotcha.
And now is the time to do that because of the spawn split and the numbers advantage.
Basically, I'm giving them free space by doing what I'm doing right now. Like they're just strolling up.
Yeah, you're giving
easily.
them like, so your Doomfist dies, and now here's where our front line is.
Yep.
That means that everything is over there is theirs. But if we are moving forward, we can take that, and our Hanzo can get fire there. Or you can even, catch a Shatter if they're like playing in front of their Rhine, because they're coming back from spawn.
Okay.
But then watch how like. So now look like where they are on this engage. Like that's space that they shouldn't have gotten because
Yep.
we had the numbers.
I see it.
That's me, I'm Ryan. I'm gonna get close to you. Never mind. Look to your right side, look to your right side. Never mind.
Let's see what we commit here. So we're down 1, so we should already know we're at a disadvantage.
Okay.
So we grab, and they trans and they blizzard. We trans and we dragon,
Yeah, and I shatter.
and they ball ult. So at this point they've committed trans, may, ball, right?
Uh huh.
And at this point we've committed grab, dragon, trans,
Ryan.
Shatter.
and we're about to commit shatter.
Yeah.
This is a place to hold shatter, because this is likely a lost fight, because we just spent 3 big ultimates with nothing to show for it, and we're already down a man. So they have the advantage. I think they nano here. Yeah, they nano too. No, they don't.
It just looks so big, like the potential to like knock everyone down, that I'm like, this is like the best opportunity that I just.
Yes, I know the
Yeah, like-
feeling for Ryan well. We work with our Ryan at NYU who just like sees a charge and he's like, he can't stop himself from hitting the charge.
That's me, I'm Ryan.
So I guess my recognition would be like, oh, no one died. We committed 2-3 ults. Like, hold the shatter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if I knock down everyone, it probably isn't gonna happen that we win. Or
Probably not. Because they've also taken a lot of the space. So here you should be making a call like, oh, we're down 1, careful. Like because we're down a man at this engage.
True.
And then I think too, like if the play is Grav Dragon, this is a dangerous position for you to be in. Like, because either the Grav Dragon's going to kill them or it's not. And if they trans, there's nothing that you're going to do here swinging your hammer that's going to, like, make that worth anything. You're not going to get a kill if they're transing that. But
True.
we put ourselves in a position
That's me, I'm
where we get, like, here we are, and then there's their team, and then your Zen's trying to help, but now they've, like, forked us. Like, this is all their space.
Ryan.
Yep.
And we are not in a place to get support. Especially, like, we have to be mindful of our Anna's line of sight. And if there's a red body, red body, red body, red body, then she's not going to be able to get any shots through.
Look to your right side, look to your right side.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like one of the hardest habits to break is like the solo queue panic ult, and that was kind of a panic ult, and it's just all about being like conscious. Like you train yourself to think like, okay, is my ult going to add value here or not? And like in that situation, it's 99 times out of 100, it's not going to add value, and you're much better off saving an ult for the next fight than using an ult in the last fight.
Yep. Okay.
Let's see.
I'm Nano. Me walls, me walls, me wall. Your wall. Got you, Zarya. Right in. Run. Who does it?
So that's a good call to punish the Rhine there.
Got you, Zarya.
I think I was just too slow. Like my reaction wasn't. Actually, that was a weird charge. I'll be honest. I didn't really see that coming.
Yeah, ideally your Zarya would have had a bubble for you here.
Keep the
I'm
Zarya low.
curious what where that friendly bubble went.
I'm Nano. Me walls, me walls, me
So
walls.
there's her personal.
Got you, Zarya. Right in.
I don't see
He
her
was just
personal.
fast. I just think they didn't.
Who does it?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
But this is good because so even though we died, they used a nano on that Rhine and we punished him for his overcommit. So that's good.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have the better spawn.
Yep.
So that's a good trade, and that's like one of the things to learn is like a trade is not like it's usually never equal. Like a 1-for-1 trade is usually gonna advantage one team over the other, based on the spawns. So like as the payload gets closer to the end, trades become better for them and worse for you guys. But earlier on, trades are better for you guys.
Right.
And understanding the shift and how those trades work will help you like recognize if a fight is lost, because if you trade like really close to their spawn, then that might be a call for a regroup, because otherwise they're just going to steamroll when they get that quick spawn back.
It's going to be a 6v5 at some point in time.
Right. But if we get the trade early on, then we could say we can be a little bit more aggressive because it doesn't hurt us quite as bad.
Yeah, we're like super up now.
Good kill on ball. We got their Anna, so now we're up 3.
Monkey one.
As Reinhardt, is it worth turning around to swing at ball? Let's just say in a normal 6v6, like, or should I just ignore him and let my teammates take
In
care
a
of him?
normal 6v6, when you've got fire coming in from like the other side, and there's just a ball rolling around doing like nothing but being annoying, then no, I wouldn't just turn around and swing at him.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you're opening your team up, and as you, for example, when we played Rutgers this weekend on Saturday, on attack we were running Rhine and they were running a Sombra Widow, and their Sombra would come behind and try and hack someone or just disrupt, and our Rhine would sometimes, like when he hears the call of Sombra behind, he would turn or take a swing at the Sombra, but when he did that, they had a really good Widow, and every time he did that, like we lost a healer, because he was like checking on that Sombra.
Do you think that same thing philosophy should be with Winston's and Reinhardt's that like charge behind you?
It's all situational. If like generally though, like so Ball and Sombra can get out really easily. If they don't have like a long range threat, generally it's like a really good idea to punish tanks if they like commit that far back, because they don't have the cooldown to get out, and you can cut off their support. Like if Monkey leaps in, he's got no jump for 6 seconds, and you can blow him up real quick. Or if Ryan charges in, blow him up real quick. That's something that you can call for your team. Like, okay, like punish the Ryan, punish the Monkey, no cooldowns, and then it'll be situational whether you're able to add to that or not. But your team should be killing them. But if they've got a Widow trying to pick you guys off, then just let your team deal with that and keep your shield up forward. But if they don't have any follow-up, then go ahead and help punish.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
here's another point where we need to be taking space.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yep.
We're like just so ahead, but we're just like sitting together like on the cart. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So there we check ults. So we've got dragons. Yeah. Like so, our Zen is up there. So
True.
well, one, he shouldn't be up there unless others are up there. He should be on cart. He's just exposing
One
himself
side.
here. We had to burn a Zarya friendly because he decided to be Jonak.
Anna users.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that after that fight again, you recognize
One
it.
side.
All that
Yep.
space that we need to take and set ourselves up. Always in between fights, we're trying to take space aggressively, not necessarily to get kills, but to just deny the enemy team access to valuable areas of the map.
Gotcha.
Anna users. Hamster, he's Discord. Sleeping? He's dead.
So don't
Okay.
charge there.
Okay.
Ball is too
Dead.
elusive, and you're gonna do more damage just swinging
he's
at him.
Discord. Sleeping? He's dead.
Okay.
And it also this charge also has the negative of pulling us back away from the space we want to be controlling. And now they're coming into us. So that's a good punish.
Anna no sleep. In jail. Anna's in jail. I have trans
That's good.
if we need.
Good.
I think Anna's on her right. She's one. Watch out, behind. The sand point, we got it.
Okay, Scrappy.
What's in weak?
Yeah.
Nothing major to point out there.
Possibly didn't need to shatter, I assume.
Yeah, this was a...
I think Anna's on her right.
It's one of those things like I just feel like I want to secure the point. I don't think ahead. I'm just like, dude, whatever it takes. We're at the end point. Like,
Yeah. Generally, I'm like not too mad about committing an ultimate that we don't necessarily need, but if it just like helps us clear the wrap up the point, that's fine.
yeah. Okay.
I think Anna's on her right.
But I don't think we use a ton of other ults here, so it's like not the worst
He's
thing.
in jail. I have trans if we need.
So like right here, there should be a call for no more ults because of the fact that we're up.
What's in on point?
So let's see. Let me just make sure I get everything right here. Okay, so 6v6.
He gets out.
What's in on point?
Good punish on the monkey. Now we're up 1.
Anna no sleep. In jail.
Good call out on. So I like that. You were calling out the Anna no sleep. I really like calling out major cooldowns for the enemy team. Just like I like my friendly team to call out when they've used major cooldowns or need to regroup for cooldowns. It's generally really good to call out like when they use like those high power cooldowns. So now we're up 2.
I have trans if we need.
I'm making a call for no more ults here because we're up 2 and the payload is now close enough that we don't really have to worry about how close their spawn is because now we're 6v4. They've got 2 dead and they have no payload presence. So no more ults in general here is the call to put out.
But we just lost 2, so would that change because of that? We lost Zen and our Hanzo.
So hello?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I accidentally unplugged my mic. What did you say?
That's okay. Would that call change because we lost 2? It turned even like within.
Yeah.
Actually, we were still down 1. I mean, up 1, but yeah.
So yes, like if picks happen, you know, then the situation changes.
Yeah.
And
I have trans if we need. I think Anna's on
so we trade there. We're still up 2.
Oh, true.
her right.
Our Zen dies. We're up 1.
one.
She's one. Watch out, behind. The sand point,
Actually, we just got 2 more, so yeah, we
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of a scrappy fight, and like it's at the end of the point, and you kind of see the kill feed trading and so it can kind of be easy to lose track of the numbers game.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm okay with like committing ults there.
You sleep?
Okay.
I can understand that. Like it's not too big a deal.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Again, should I be pushing up?
Yes.
It's one of those things again. Yeah.
This is another
No
time.
defense, mate.
You got the mega near our spawn?
Oh my god.
Yeah, our Zen was like
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I'm yelling at him if he's on my team. I don't know what he's doing up there.
Well, his name is DPS, so maybe he plays Zen like a DPS, I guess.
But yeah, so like we want to take this space.
Okay.
Because
Play
like
the corner.
they're being like look, they're already coming up and they're gonna be able to contest this early. We want to like clear this space to set ourselves up for the next engagement.
I can nano you, Pharaoh, whenever you want to ult.
Alright, I'm gonna go behind you. Ready?
There's no one.
Yeah, and so I can see like if your Zen's being a fool and like pushing up on his own, I can understand why you like feel the need to stay back and push cart because he's not. But that's something you can call out like, hey Zen, push cart, or just go in front of him and let Anna
Yeah.
push the cart.
Just wait.
Okay.
Let them come out.
They have a diva, she's gonna eat.
She's got the,
So that charge, not sure.
She's got the,
It was bad charge. Like
Yeah.
it didn't do anything. That was a misclick, I guess.
Yeah.
Put them on me in the back. Probably.
Oh, I got purple.
So we committed Nano and Barrage and Trans to that.
She's got the,
Stay with me then, stay with me.
put them on me in the back. Probably.
It was a 2 for 2.
They used the Blizzard and
Coalescence.
Coalescence, yeah. But their Anna lands this big nade,
Put them on me in the back.
Yeah.
which kind of
Oh, I got purple.
messes with us. So now again, so like here, I'm making a call out. I'm checking ults. Like, oh, we've got Grab Dragon. So that our play is Grab Dragon. And they swapped off of.
Put them on me in the back.
Let's see here.
Oh, I got purple.
So they swapped off the Zen. So this is a free Grab Dragon.
Yep.
Winston's one.
So I'm calling hard disengage here. Like every second is valuable, and
Winston's one.
when you've got less than a minute on the clock, and you need your team to be full health, ready to go. So I'm calling out for a hard disengage, so that no one pokes and does something silly.
We have a grab
Right.
almost soon, not yet. Almost have it. Grab dragon.
We
I
should
think
call
it's
out the
better.
McCree there. Just call out the location.
Yeah. Well, I remember what happens because I didn't. Now that I see him there. Well, we'll see.
Is he gonna
But-
do a flank Deadeye?
Almost soon, not yet.
Possibly.
Almost have it.
I think he kills someone or something. We'll see.
Yeah, we kind of just like forget about him, and it's so we
Right.
either can't forget about him or we need to like make sure people are aware so they can play around it.
Letting. Let him sleep. And a week.
Yeah, there it is. I feel bad now.
Wow, that charge was hilarious.
You guys ult. Gonna ult from behind. I have to give it to somebody else or weak behind you. Behind you guys, behind you, behind.
That's a good shatter. Like, but it's just we lost the trades early.
Yeah. Okay.
Left side. You guys ult. Gonna ult from behind. I have to give it to
Cause it's like
somebody
6
else or
seconds
weak
left. You see
behind
3
you guys,
there.
behind you, behind.
The Moira fades, but that's typically a 3-man shatter. And then the
Yeah.
Blizzard.
I can't touch.
Okay. Attack done. So yeah, the major things are, you know, just the communication of, so like you were communicating some on the cooldowns, which is good. But take it upon yourself to just practice like every ult you see, call it out. they trans, they dead-eyed, they monkey ulted.
Right.
Just get in that habit. And then the other one is just understanding the concept of space in between the fights and how positioning yourself and the way that you move in between fights like can make or break fights and set your team up for the next one. And so
Gotcha.
you can call out like, hey guys, let's push up, like let's take this space. And I've got a really good video by Wizard, the former NYXL assistant coach, now the Washington head coach. He has an excellent video on the concept of space in Overwatch that I can show you. And then I'm also doing I'm like almost done with an essay on space myself that compares, like, I look at the concept of space in dive as compared to goats and kind of compare and contrast like how those two comps approach the use of space differently.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll share those
shoot a
things.
link over.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So let's look at our defense.
Yep.
Are we going to stick with?
Yeah, I think I'm sticking with Ryan.
And
I can't remember if I switched to Winston, but later. But
So we not on the Doom anymore. Your Zen wasn't calling out discorded targets at all, was he?
not that I know of. No.
Okay.
I mean, would you, if you were in my situation, would you ask him to call out discords? Like,
100%.
okay.
Discord is super powerful, and the like corralling your DPS to focus a discorded target
Yeah.
is really, really important. Otherwise, Discord is just going on people and getting no value, and that's like half of Zen's kit, or a third of Zen's kit. Like, he's got the
I
healing
think this is like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I think it's just my ladder mentality because that's all I play. Like, sometimes I already mentioned this. You just kind of get sick of like putting so much effort into comms when like half of your games no one cares and they like, and it feels like it's going on deaf ears. Whereas like another half, like it feels like it's working, right? Other times it doesn't feel like it's working, but maybe it is working. I guess it is working because obviously comms is better than no comms, right? But,
Right. Yeah, so the entire goal is like, even if you are solo queuing ladder, you want to play like not a solo queue ladder player. And
pretend like you're playing competitive.
Right. You want to like pretend you're on a contenders team, and like you want to play like, you know, at the highest level at all times. And so that's just a psychological thing, because I actually I played, I was helping, like I was playing on some alt accounts last night, like down in Plat, and I like couldn't calm because my girlfriend was asleep, and she can't sleep if I'm calming. So the fact that I couldn't calm, like, that's what made me like super tilted, because and I don't tilt easily, but then like players were just doing things and I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? But then I realized that like I can't calm and like corral everyone, and that's when I got tilted. So by calming, you're actually going to help corral your team, which is going to help them do less stupid things, which is going to reduce your tilt from solo queue.
Gotcha. I'm going to try to keep that in mind every single time.
Yeah, it's all positive, all forward-looking comms, never retrospective comms. Never ask your teammates, why did we do this? Why didn't we do this? We should have done this. Never say any of those types of things. Anything in the past tense is just no-go for comms.
Okay.
And if your team is like getting on each other, like two other people are like complaining, Zarya's like, why didn't you trans Zen? And Zen's like, why didn't you bubble me, Zarya? Like, you can help calm them down. Like, hey guys, let's focus on the next fight. Like, okay, we're gonna go with these ults.
Gotcha.
You have to pretend that you're like a shepherd, and you need to get your sheep from this pasture to the other pasture.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So here you can like hang out a second. So if you're already gonna take this forward, oh, we've scouted so we see there. But if no one's calling it out, which the Hanzo should be because it's a Sonic arrow, then call out who you see for your team so that your
Okay.
team knows what's coming in. Generally, like if we have a D.Va, we use our D.Va to scout. So like D.Va will be in a very forward position, and then by the time like a fight opens up, we already know like what they're running. So that's information that anyone can share when they see it. Zarya could be sharing it here. And even here, I'm still calling it out like before the engage. Like I'm always kind of okay, they've got Genji, Ryan, blah blah blah. Like just quick call out on what they have. Information is always good. So one really important thing for you to do as Reinhardt is, so I'm not sure, talk to me about like your ult tracking. Do you practice like ult tracking the enemy team?
Yeah, I do. I do mostly Reinhardt because it's the easiest. Yeah, and then Zarya, I try to keep track of Zarya as well because it's maybe that has to do with my inconsistent play. Sometimes my mind is just not in the mood, or maybe it just doesn't think about tracking anybody else's ult just because it's too much thinking. But I would just say it's mostly Ryan just because it's the easiest. That's the most it's your biggest concern anyway as a Reinhardt, right? Like,
right. Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, there are some people out there that can track all 6 enemies at the same time, and it's a remarkable skill. But for like your play, like if you can consistently like kind of track 2 enemy ults, then that's really good.
Yeah.
But that's something that we weren't calling out on our attack is like our ult tracking. We should make it a practice in between every fight so this is why I say call out the ults that they have like as they happen, because then in between the fight you can be like, okay, they use this, this, and this, they're gonna have this. And just calling out the ults helps you ult track, because then when you press tab, you look at the 4 like, oh yeah, those 4 used ult, so these 2. And it just like, you can ult track without even tracking like the hard way, just by being really cognizant of which ults they use and then communicating that in between the team fights.
Okay.
So that way you should know like in the upcoming fight what like what their win condition is, like what their play is going to be.
How it's going to play out, yep.
And then, so one of the other cooldowns that you should be tracking is Zarya bubbles.
Because you're personal and team bubble.
Yeah. So Zarya, no personal, I'm making that call.
Gotcha.
Hanzo left. Oh my god. You know the other sure about that.
So, what happens to our team?
Don't know.
One of the things that I don't see you do a lot of is use the 360 degree looking around that Ryan has when his shield's up.
Oh, yeah, the right click, hold mouse one thing, yeah.
That's like, that adds a ton to like your ability to recognize like when you need to peel for a teammate, recognize what's going on.
Hanzo left.
It's like I see so many Ryans that don't use that. It's such a like a useful ability.
You know the other sure about that.
Because there are very, very few characters in the game that get third-person field of view.
Well, I would say in this specific situation, I'm just trying to survive, right, against this Ryan. Like, I don't have time to like look around. But yeah, you're right. I don't use it at all. So that's something.
Well, it's like it can be quick because if you're just holding your shield.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like it can just be quick flashes.
Right.
Oh my god. You know the other sure about that.
And then there's a setting in the Reinhardt controls where you can control your it's a setting on how you control your movement while you're in that 3D or that like third person mode. So you can either do it relative to camera position or relative to Reinhardt like orientation. So just hop into the training ground and swap those 2 settings to feel the difference.
Play around with it
and pick which one you like. So yeah, calling out the Zarya bubbles. Let's see. So here, so now here, we need to verify that we didn't get a bad spawn. I think our soldier gets the close spawn, but when you're losing these hybrid points, there's always the risk that you're going to get 2 or 3 spawns here and then 2 or 3 spawns back there. If you manage to get all your 6 spawns here, then fine. But if you get 3 up here and 3 back there, that's going to change like how you're going to approach here. Like if half your team got bad spawn, then I'm not coming this way at all. Because if I'm the attacking team, I know that they potentially have split spawn, and I'm going to try and punish for that. So always like verify in a situation like this.
Gotcha.
That where your spawn is, and then if you need to make a call to go back, you make it. Or if we're good to go, we're good to go.
Yeah.
So, but I think that we had all 6 here. So this is a good position to take.
Careful, they have a break.
So now we should have a sense of what their ults are. So do you think their Rhine's gonna have Shatter here?
No.
No, not quite yet.
Oh, actually, wait. No, yeah, he does. He definitely does. Because
Okay.
I feel like we got equally amount of like swipes on each other.
Yeah, and he helped clean up some others.
Yeah. So yes, sorry.
So when you know that the other Rhine has Shatter and they have a Brig, then you have to be super careful.
Stun Shatter, yeah.
And you should call that out to your Zarya. Because your Zarya is the only thing that's going to protect you from that, really. Because you can't just like keep backing up away from a Brig because they're just going to push payload. But you should alert your Zarya to the fact that they have Shatter, and you'd be like, hey Zarya, I need a bubble if I get bashed. Or tell Zarya can step forward with a personal in front of you when you get bashed.
Gotcha.
But that is the counterplay to the bash Shatter.
I have Shatter. Get ready for Shatter follow-up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I said I had Shatter. Whoops.
So that's...
Yeah.
Don't force it.
Yeah, we weren't in a position to follow up there. Like, I see why you Shattered. Because the Rhine stepped aside, so like that's good that you're using Shatter, you know, in a heads-up way when you have like a high probability of landing it. But we have to like recognize that we're not in a position. Our Doomfist can't follow up from the Shatter because he's gonna be like in here with no cooldowns, and then our Hanzo is probably on the high ground back behind us, and he doesn't quite have the cleanest sight lines in there. So if I'm looking for a Shatter here, I'm looking for a Shatter in like this area, where it's not so like closed off.
Okay. Yeah, that was a bad Shatter.
But I can see, but it's okay because like I like the instinct that you like didn't try and mind game a Rhine. You like it was a clean look.
Right.
I think you clipped 2 or 3.
They're just like way back there. Yeah.
Shield down, shield down.
So I like this right here. This is a good position to take. It depends on how far this Rhine and Brig are going to push you, but you can like play this line of sight here and get some contest on the payload. So there was their bash, and that's another important cooldown to call out as Reinhardt. Okay, so we win the fight.
I'm trying to shield for you.
That's good, so we get the pick here. Doomfist gets another, we're up 2. So this is something that a lot of Rhines can sometimes like they can improve on this. So generally when Rhines get nanoed, they just go balls to the wall. And they just swing their hammer as long as they're nanoed. But if you get nanoed here, but you know that their Rein still has Shatter, don't concede the Shatter just because you're nanoed and want to make a play. Like, what you can do here is keep swinging at the Rein. I mean, you're nanoed, so you're going to, you know, burst this Rein down. This Brig's within range from here, but you need to be here still, swinging at the Rein with the nano, because you know that he has Shatter. But instead, we make this play forward, and he's shattering, but we haven't gained anything because the only people within our hammer range are still Rein and Brig.
I see.
But we've
I should have
stepped
just
in front.
focused on him.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
focus on the
was-
Rein. And
Yeah.
and even if he shatters you, you're nanoed, so you have the damage reduction. But you want to be able to like make that play if you know he has Shatter.
Okay.
And you're still nanoed, so you're still going to get all the benefits of swinging your hammer there. Fortunately, our Doomfist kind of pops off and kills the Rein. They didn't. That was a bad Shatter on his part, and that's really good
Might try to shatter. He will try to shatter.
because they were down 2, including their main healer.
Yep.
So that's good. That's a good bait on the Shatter. And because we got the 2 early picks, it like wasn't the biggest deal that you stepped forward. But if that was like a 6v6 fight already, and you got nanoed, then you would be like risking a lot by doing that.
Gotcha.
Watch out, dude. Watch out. I'm trying to shield for you.
Doom baby, what are you doing?
Dead. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still the same Doom from like the beginning of the game that like kept suiciding.
Might be dead. Oh my gosh, what a bubble.
Yeah.
So
I recognize
here,
that.
yeah, just get back and drop shield out of line of sight.
Hanzo left, Hanzo left,
Yeah.
Hanzo left.
I'm just getting that, like, get here real quick. Get that shield recharged.
Okay.
3 kills.
And hopefully your team is playing the line of sight. They re-engage pretty quick here though, so. So that was a chase kill. That didn't give a lot of, so that was like a high risk play. Like we're chasing an Ana and we're putting ourselves out of the line of sight of our healers and exposing the rest of our team to like we're grabbed, like they're gonna dragon it, but say they didn't have dragon and we're grabbed, then they're gonna be just damaging into that grab, and we're not in a position to you know, help our teammates in the grab, or say they popped a diva bomb, you know, we want to be able to shield, and so this is a little bit too forward of a position, and we pay the price for it.
Yeah, back.
Hanzo, go away.
Okay. So even if, I mean, let's just say I didn't know if he had dragon or not, I just stick with the team. Like it wasn't worth going for the Ana. Like.
No, not you. Like what you can do is like, so let's see what we notice here. Yeah, so you could say Ana left low, and maybe like your Doomfist can get it. Your Doomfist was ulting. Your Doomfist should have called out the ult, because that's generally going to be his first target.
Yeah.
We don't want to chase kills that are going to put us in bad positions or expose our team. Kind of like how we talked about on attack. Like, we don't want to chase a kill on a ball or a Sombra behind us if it's going to open up our team. But if there's a Rein that charged back and you can safely like turn around and punish the Rein because they don't have enough to follow up on the front line, then that's fine.
Hanzo,
But in
go
this
away.
case, they have everyone to follow up if you were taken out of the
Yeah.
equation.
You guys are doing a good job. Just
True.
Hold on.
Okay.
And this is just like split-second things that, you know, you practice consciously and then they
Almost there,
become
I'm
habit
back in
over
2
time.
Alright, shut.
Here.
Genji top right, Genji top right. Genji knows dash. Keep
Bring
pushing
no
us
stun.
on.
Bring no stun.
So good, you called out the stun. I like it. And now we can look for a shatter.
Yep.
Because they're running monkey.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Big sleep though.
I remember that.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that just as you become more and more practiced with like recognizing cooldowns, um, you know, we like your team like should be calling out cooldowns too. So ideally, you would know whether Anna has a sleep or not. But I've seen a lot of Rhines slept while shattered. So
Yep.
that's just one thing you have to watch out for. Playing Rhine is tough because there's like 8 million things that can interrupt your shatter.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Brick stun done, Zarya bubble done, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I just forgot about the Ana. It was like, it was just too many things. But yeah.
As their monkey is literally diving the back line and killing us over and over.
Go break.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough for you because like you can't really peel for your backline in this situation. I think you made the right call by kind of playing where you did. Your backline has to peel for themselves in this situation a little bit, and your Zarya can peel with bubbles, but your job is definitely forward here. So it's unfortunate that Monkey gets behind and kills everyone, but like you can't really peel for them. Because if you turn your back and you go this way to try and help them, you're just going to get nuked from the front. So.
Yep.
Yeah. As their monkey is literally diving the back line and killing us over and over.
Go break.
Not gonna have enough heals, but okay.
We have main healer with
So here's another point where we have to check the spawns.
Mm.
Because they capped like at the end of that fight, so we just want to make sure that we have everyone forward. We don't have like a bunch of people all the way back, and if we do, then that's going to change how we approach. So I'll always be double checking that.
Monkey no jump. Thunder is bubble. Gonna get that.
Our Doomfist is out of position.
not really doing much.
Wow, this monkey is just wrecking us right now.
Yeah.
Did we make a swap to deal with him at all?
Brig.
We did go Brig? Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is like sometimes like okay, so we know here like okay, so we just have the nano coming close on Grab Dragon. But sometimes these fights are lost fights because of the ult steamroll. And so it can kind of like I might even call for a dry push here because you can bait out ultimates from them and still re-engage and then come back with ult advantage.
I get it, yeah.
And then
so you just like play close, basically.
Yeah, you play close and then like you play for a pick.
Monkey no jump.
And if you get a pick, then maybe you can.
Thunder is bubble.
But then once we, so like here, now we can like play forward even.
Not really doing much.
So now this is a lost fight, so I'm calling no ults. So hopefully your team recognizes and saves some of their ultimates here. Good. So good. We didn't commit ults there that we didn't need to. This could be big.
Yep.
No more
Yeah.
I think we hold.
We need to hold this corner for a very long time.
This is actually a really good place for defense to hold. This corner.
Wait on Transy.
Yeah.
No, not here. I mean the corner back where the payload
That
is.
was, yeah. The right side or the left side?
Like just in general, this corner
Okay.
is like a good place to hold because you guys generally will have like better line of sight because you've got this long pathway here, and they kind of have this L bend that they have to work around. So provided that you call out any flankers that choose to go this way, this is you guys are in a good position.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They just had so many ults. Like,
Yeah, They
We
had
were dead.
a lot of ults.
Yeah, we don't have transient.
I mean, I think that goes back to the old tracking you're talking about, right? Like, as I get better, I should be tracking more, saying like, oh, Zarya probably like 10 ults, like everyone back up, split up,
Hmm
something like.
Well, it's at this point we're like really hurting because it's like 3 minutes with that much to go. I mean, I would make the argument that this map is already lost.
Kill the monkey.
When they've got Blade,
Literally everything.
Dragon, Grab.
They got nanoed as well.
Reloading, I'm reloading.
Yeah, you got nanoed.
Yeah, so you hear the dragon go off though. You get nanoed, but you should be cognizant enough of where this dragon is so that you step back here and not forward.
True.
Because you heard the dragon go off. Because if you step back here, then you are gonna get your shatter and you might have a play.
Reloading, I'm reloading.
True. Yeah.
And you also know because they dragon grabbed, you should just have a general sense of where that dragon trajectory is.
True.
Reloading, I'm reloading.
Yeah, don't step forward into it. This is gonna be it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's it. Yeah. I like to send like tough games for review just because like
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the most improvement can be sometimes. Or honestly, sometimes I know some games can be unwinnable and it is what it is, but I feel like I can improve more on losses.
No, that was a really good map to review. Because there were lots of like coachable moments, particularly the concept of a space on attack.
Right.
Was really good. So yeah, that is that. And
Yeah.
so I would definitely consider getting into some like ringing for some scrims just to like start playing more Overwatch outside of the ladder setting. Tons of discords out there that organize those types of things. You can go to like Overwatch University or competitive Overwatch subreddits and find links to some of those discords there. And then breaking that solo queue mindset and approaching our ladder play in those better ways where we're practicing those good habits that teams do.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
this is going to be on my Twitch. I'm also going to upload it to YouTube. So it will be there if you want to review it again. And then I'm happy to do a follow-up BOD review like in a few weeks after you feel like you've had some good time to practice and start incorporating some of these ideas. Love to like see another one and look at some progress.
Yeah, sounds good. I actually wrote all the notes when you're giving me feedback, so I'll definitely review them and try to remember them when I play the next game.
Oh, that's awesome! I'm glad that you were taking notes because I was just talking and not taking notes.
Oh no,
myself.
that's fine. I feel like it's a job to study and like get better. Like if we really want to get better, I should be putting the work into.
Yeah, and definitely check out like any like other like higher level play, maybe like, and just kind of we've got BK's got some of our Tespa matches, so you can hear some of the comms that we're doing, and you can kind of get a sense at the way that we're tracking ults, the way that we're calling out cooldowns, and you can kind of look at how we try to use space. It's definitely better to like review games where you can hear comms. Like it's one thing to just like watch play and see things, but it's a really useful thing to be able to hear some stuff. In on my Discord in the where is it? I put it in the highlights. Yeah, the highlights, VODs, and hey Crew Omega, thank you for the follow. That's awesome. Follower. In the highlights, VODs, and clips category on my Discord, I put a timestamp to where we did like a really strong goats, and you can see how our Reinhardt played and communicated and like used space to his advantage. That might be a
Yep.
good one for you to review.
Okay, I will do.
Thank you. I'm sorry that it took longer than I'd hoped to get around to this VOD review.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
I'm glad we got it done.
Yep.
And thank you for being patient and hanging out. This was really useful. And in the future, I'm going to try and do these VOD reviews with the person in chat.
Yeah, it's a lot harder though as someone who like actively tries to do these as well. Like, or I mean, like I try to ask if I can be in chat with you. Like some people, it's just really hard getting the schedule down and like setting up the visor, like and all that. But yeah, I'm glad you're open to it.
Yeah, no, this is
It
really
definitely helps.
useful. I'm going to do this in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, take care,
Sounds
man.
good. All right, you too. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, we have a question in chat. Generally speaking, 6-stacks are not a good idea for comp, but what about a scrim team 6-stacking in comp? That's fine. Like if you want to 6-stack in comp with your team, generally that's going to be a better outcome than if you are 6-stacking with randoms. But my counter question would be, oh, that's Poop Trader. My counter question would be, if you have a 6-man scrim team, then why not just scrim a team in a custom game? Like if you're a 6-man scrim team, like the way that you're playing is not ladder play. The way that you want to play is not ladder play. So unless like your scrim partner dropped out and you just want to get some practice in, I don't see why a team would want a 6-stack. Because generally teams that are like scrim teams, official teams, you know, they don't care about like trying to get all their SR as a 6-stack. That was a really good VOD review, I felt. It was so nice to have the person I was reviewing it for in chat with me at the same time, because the VOD I did yesterday, well, the VOD review I did for the guy yesterday, he's in Europe, so the time difference could be hard. But that's how I'm going to do him in the future. That was great. Is 6-stacking with your scrim team and comp frowned upon? I don't think people would really know. I don't think people really care. I don't really hear what's frowned upon or not when you're like 6-stacking. But I know that you'll often see like 2 or 3 stacks of players from the same team, and that can be good if like you guys want to do ladder. But I'm going to end the stream here just to close off the video so I can upload the VOD review to YouTube. I will be back on stream at some point tonight. I got one other thing to check in on, but I'll see if I can get back on stream later on. So I hope this was an educational experience for everyone who watched, and I'll talk to you guys soon.